Have you ever looked at your backyard and thought, oh, it's just not everything that I dreamed a backyard could be? Well, I had the same fears, which is why I'm so meticulous and I designed my yard to make it a place I want to spend all the time in the world in. So no matter what you want to do in your yard, I'm going to show you the steps to make sure you get everything you can out of it. Let's break it down. Smoke. One of the biggest mistakes people make in their yard is they try and have one space do all things, and you can't do that. You have to try and zone your yard, and even if you have a smaller yard, you can still have zones. Think about all of the uses you need out of your backyard. Is it a kid's play space? Is it for grilling? Is it just for playing bocce ball? Whatever it is, make a list, and that's how you're gonna figure out how you wanna zone it out. For example, kids play zone, gardens and gazebos, outdoor fireplace for fun family nights, lounging area, conversation area, to be or not to be. Work with your environment. Consider your surroundings because you want to make sure there's nothing that's going to affect the landscape design you come up with. For example, trees can really restrict the height or the placement of any of your furniture, or if you're building something like a play structure, you want to make sure that it's not going to hit the tree. Remember, trees continue to grow, they continue to move, so you don't want something that's going to be too close so that in a few years it is actually in the way. Also, think of your property line and any fences that you have, because you may not want to crowd the fence in case you have to do maintenance or something in the future there as well. Another example would be if you put in a hot tub. You don't want a tree above that that's going to drop leaves and berries and things like that into your water constantly. So things like furniture covers, hot tub covers, these are all very important so that your maintenance is super easy. All of these problems have solutions and they can be worked around, but it's best to consider those things when you're originally designing your space. If I was sitting in the hot tub, what's the first thing I do? Well, I'm going to want to get out and get toweled off. So I also want to have a rack or somewhere where I can put my towels. I want to make sure that if I'm outside and it's sunny, that there's somewhere to give me some shade. All of these elements are important, so you have to get into the space, think about the surroundings at different times of day and different months of the year, because enjoying a space in the middle of summer might be very different enjoying it in the middle of winter. Can somebody get me down? Design an outdoor space like you would any other room. Start with a mood board, inspiration images, and a color palette, and then you can start to pull everything together. And it's okay if you make a mistake and decide to change something after the fact. For example, this fireplace took me so many iterations that everyone else was probably getting so annoyed with me, but I wanted it to be perfect. And then I picked the furniture because I knew the vibe I wanted to have in here. I always try and figure out what the anchor feature is in any space. Here, it was the fireplace. Once I had that nailed down, then I started to pick everything else. So I picked out the furniture, and I knew the color had to match the fireplace. The pillows, the accents, anything else just has to tie into the overall theme. But you have to start every single room with some kind of anchor feature. Even when I picked the light fixture, I wanted something that had elegant curves that tied into some of the scroll work on the fireplace. And there's another trick. You can use larger features to hide unattractive objects. So in behind here, I knew that we had to have our generator. So if the power ever goes out, we don't lose power, but the generator's not pretty to look at. So I designed this fireplace to be the width to cover the generator in behind it. Those are little tricks. You want to make sure that anything you're looking at is something that's attractive. Anything you're not looking at, well, that's why we asked Drew to leave when we're shooting some of this stuff. You can still think big in a small space. I love to cluster seating in areas to create a zone for lounging, maybe an outdoor cocktail table, but I always do 2 chairs to 1 table so there's somewhere to put your drinks or to place a book. In fact, if you cluster a little seating area like this, it might become your favorite reading nook. Even in a smaller footprint, there's a lot that you can do, but think about how you want to style the space. If you have furniture that's going to be rocky on grass, maybe make sure that you have something that's compacted really well. Or here, we switched from real grass to artificial because with all the splashing and kids running around from the pool, it caused a real mucky area here. Now we don't have a problem at all. And in fact, even with all of my pavers, I always do a concrete base so everything is rock solid. Think about your future maintenance and your future use. Always put in the extra effort now now so you can spend your time enjoying and lounging as opposed to fixing and repairing. You'll notice the pavers are perfectly level, and it's a good way to drain the water away from the pool because you never want rainwater going into your pool. It changes the pH. Also, you might want to look at features in the garden, like we have a bird feeder here where actually the bees really love it. So we have that tucked in the garden. You may want to put in little flagstones leading to that because it looks nice and it gives you a much more durable surface for people to walk across. Think about all of those elements when you're designing your space, and then you won't have to spend every week constantly readjusting pavers and setting things back up. Upgrading your home tech can also make maintenance a lot easier. I have a yard robot that does all the lawn cutting for me. While the robot's doing the lawn, we can handle the gardens and everybody's happy. But there's tech at all different price points that can enhance your yard, from automatic bird feeders to solar pathway lights, even side tables that have fridges integrated or portable speakers. You name it, there's something that's going to make your yard even more awesome. Find clever ways to put storage into every area. Just like the inside of the house, every square inch of storage you get is worthwhile because you'll always find something to fill it up. I like to separate stuff like paints, chemicals, anything for the maintenance of the home, keep it separate from stuff like kids' toys over by the pool. But you don't have to have a full built shed. You can also find storage in benches or under tables or in behind hedges. No matter where you need storage, I guarantee you there's a solution that will fit. Lighting is still important in the outdoor space. So whether you have a shaded area that you still want to be able to read, you can put in light fixtures, or at nighttime, if it's a space you're going to use a lot, you want to make sure you have beautiful yard lighting so that you can see the paths, you can see where you're walking. It doesn't have to be something incredibly bright if it's just for pathway lighting, but it needs to be something there for safety. I also love the idea of an outdoor structure like a pergola, or here the gazebo was originally here, but it was really falling apart. So when I rebuilt it, I raised it up to accommodate my height. I also added in power, so if you're working on your laptop out here, you can plug it in. And I included outdoor heaters. These are all electric, so you don't have to run any gas lines, and they're super efficient, but wow, do they work. If I'm out here at night and I turn on the heater, it feels like I'm sitting on the beach in the summer. For outdoor lighting, one of my favorite solutions also happens to be a cost-effective solution. I love doing string lights throughout a space, so you can zigzag a space or you can do multiple straight lines. I always run a wire to hold the tension, and then you can attach the lighting to that. Make sure you get a really good quality outdoor waterproof string light, because some of the cheap ones, they only last a couple of years and you have to replace them. You want something that's going to last for at least 10 years. I love finding simple ways to make your home feel better, and hopefully these outdoor spaces can be improved so that you absolutely love them. Take any of these ideas you want. Remember, they can scale up or scale down to accommodate your needs, but make sure you subscribe. I don't know, this is my favorite place. I spend so much time outside here that I hope you can find that same happiness in your home. Drop a comment below and let me know how you're using your yard. And if you do implement some of these tips, yes, mission accomplished, because I want you to love your space as much as I do.